So it looks like our air temperature is down in the 20s again. You can see the water temperature right there. So I'm using my scan gauge to see the actual coolant temperature as I'm headed down the road here. So now that I've got this winter cover installed, let me drive to work this morning and we'll see if it takes a shorter distance for the truck to heat up than it did before. Hopefully it will, because normally I can drive for about 20 minutes and the water temperature will only get to about 150 degrees after I've been driving that long. So not good. Hopefully there will be some improvement. So let's head down the road and find out. So I've been driving for about 10 minutes and water temperature has come up to 145 now. It came up to 145 a lot faster than it normally would, but it seems to have kind of leveled off here now. Air temperature still 26, so kind of a chilly morning. Not super cold, just a little below freezing. But you can see, you know, I've been, like I said, well, it's been 12 minutes now that I've been driving, and we're just now to 146 on the water temp. So it's a little bit better, but it's not as much better as I had hoped so far. Interesting. All right, been driving now for going on 20 minutes or so. So this is a point in the trip to my trip to work where normally the water temp would be up to about 150, and you can see it's up to 164. So we're still a long way from getting to operating temp. It is a little bit better, but like I said, it's not as much better as I expected. So I mean, I guess I'll leave it on there because it obviously helps some. But I don't know, kind of interesting that it didn't help all that much. So some kind of a supplemental heater would definitely be nice for these diesel engines. From what I understand, the Duramax comes with a supplemental heater. You know, it's just like a standard thing on a Duramax engine. I don't know why Ford doesn't do that, but obviously they should. All right, I just took another drive this morning and you can see it's 21 degrees. I'm up on top of the ridge right now down in the valley. I got to drive through the valley. It was 17 down there in the colder air. So a little bit colder this morning than what it was the other day. And what I noticed is it took this truck quite a long time to heat up, even with the grill cover on there. I actually drove, well, the engine was running for about 45 minutes before we got up to operating temperature this morning. I went to town, took my son to school, then I went down the highway to a fuel station to get diesel, and then I drove over to a McDonald's, and then back down the highway again to my house. And man, I'll tell you what, it just took forever for this thing to warm up. Like I said, I didn't shut the truck off the whole time. It ran for about 45 minutes before it got to 190 degrees coolant temp. So with the grill cover on here, it might be just a little bit better, but it's not much better at all. Kind of surprised at what a little difference it made, really. Not sure it's worth it. Well, good morning, everybody. Look at all this mud. Let my cousin borrow the mule. They went bear hunting over in eastern Kentucky, and they said this thing did a good job for them. Unfortunately, now I'm having a problem with it, and this is my first problem with this 2024 Mule MX. And what I want you to pay attention to is right here. That's the neutral indicator light, and it'll come on green when it's in neutral. All right, so I'm going to turn the machine on. All right, and you'll notice that the light is not on. The shifter is in neutral, but the I guess the neutral switch is probably some kind of a sensor that tells the computer that, hey, the thing is in neutral, so it should be able to start now. But when I hold my foot on the brake and turn the key, nothing happens. And I can shift, watch this, I can shift low, range, high, neutral, down to reverse. It never goes into neutral, or at least the machine doesn't think that it's in neutral. mechanically it may very well be in neutral. I could probably push it, but the machine does not recognize that it's in neutral. And like I said, the problem with that is it will not let you start it. Now, maybe it's just my memory, but I could have sworn that when I bought this thing, if I held my foot on the brake, I could start it in any gear. Low, high, reverse, didn't matter. I could start the thing in gear if I had my foot on the brake. Maybe not. Maybe I just have really bad memory, but I think that's how it was working. And then it got to the point where it would only start in neutral, which, again, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe I just have bad memory, but now it won't start at all. So this is my first issue with this Mule, and it's very unfortunate because it means that I can't move the machine, and it's parked right in front of my garage door over here. So I guess I'm going to have to unhook it from the trailer. I was going to use it to put the trailer back there in the field where it belongs, but I guess I'm going to have to unhook it from the trailer and then hook the trailer to the truck and then try to get the Mule on the trailer so that I can take it to the dealer for a warranty repair. When did I buy this thing? About 2 or 3 months ago. And you'll probably remember that when I first got it, I had some issues with the shifter. It was kind of weird because sometimes I would put it in reverse and it wouldn't move. So I was kind of wondering if maybe the shifter linkage was screwed up or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll dive in here and just see if I can see anything broken under the seat. All right, so I pulled the seat up and you can see very clearly the shifter linkage mechanism right there. So there's nothing disconnected. Let me try to work the shifter a little bit. Let me get the camera down here where you can see it better. See, it's working. I mean, it's not disconnected or anything. And I don't see a sensor right there in the immediate area. So anyway, this is what the warranty's for, right? I'll just load the thing up and take it over to them. Let them try to figure it out. The good news is that I have a hill right there. That's kind of a downward slope. So I don't think I would have to push this machine very far to try and get it up on the trailer. That's the good news, because this thing weighs like 1,600 pounds. So if I had to push it uphill, I'd be in trouble. Well, it turns out that it's a pretty nice day, so I decided to tinker with this thing a little bit myself. And I think I may have fixed it. Basically what I did is I took the battery out, started to try and move the air box out. I mean, you can see something has to move out of the way so that you can get down there to the adjustment nuts. But the air box put up more of a fight, so I ended up just taking the battery out of the way anyhow. And once I had that out of the way, I had plenty of room to get in there with a 15/16 wrench. And essentially what I did was I loosened up the adjustment nut down there on the shift cable. And I moved this whole thing backwards toward the rear of the machine about 1/4 of an inch and tightened it all back down. And once I did that, it seems like that it's wanting to cooperate now. So it's in reverse at the moment. You can see the reverse light is on. And now the neutral light is on when I shift to neutral. So I guess that linkage, you know, like I said, when I first bought this thing, it seemed like it was a little bit out of adjustment to me. Just didn't seem to be quite right. And I guess that really was kind of out of adjustment because now everything seems to be working okay. Just needed a little bit. And hopefully it'll hang in there and do okay now. So I'll ride it for a while, see if I have any more trouble with it. You know, if it works okay, great. If it doesn't, I can always load it up and take it to the dealership. So I'm going to leave you with some video from the Mega Cavern. So if you go over to Louisville, Kentucky, you can actually drive into a big cave system under the ground, and they've decorated it with Christmas lights, and you can actually drive vehicles through there. So you can pay one fee for a carload of people and drive through this cave system looking at Christmas lights. It's really cool, actually. Something different, you know, that you might not see in other parts of the country. So I'll try to shoot a few clips, and I'll just go ahead and stick them on the end of the video. Be a nice way to send this one off. But for now, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. you.